Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Rambling Toffee podcast. I hope you're doing all well today. I don't know if you are doing well or not. If you're still feeling angry and pissed off after yesterday's performance, I hope everybody's doing well this Sunday. Can probably be a little bit more reflective on what happened yesterday, but I'm still seething. I'm still very, very angry, and thinking about how to talk about what's going through my mind at the moment, specifically about the performance yesterday, the tactics, the formation, the players that they brought in, the decisions that were made in that game. Um, and where do I think on Sean Dyche? What do I think he is it time for him to move on? Is it time that you know that decision needs to be made sooner rather than later? I know, out there at the moment, the reaction is, the reaction out there on social media or out there as a fan base is the vast majority of people feel it's time for him to go. There are people who still feel that, well, you know, we should still give him some support because of what he did last season. Obviously, we could have finished, we would have finished 11th if we didn't have the point deduction and all the crap that's going on regarding the takeover. And he has like a little bit of a allowed a little bit of freedom, but we've started the season this season with obviously four defeats and then a defeat in the cup to Southampton, the opponents that we played yesterday, and then we then went a win against Palace. We won obviously Ipswich, and basically we've drawn the games, and we were very, very lucky against Fulham the previous week. Obviously, I didn't do my podcast regarding that, my review regarding that game. I just decided that I'm going to take a break away from everything that is Everton Football Club just for a week. It was half term. I just decided that I was going to spend time with my son. We were doing lots of things, Halloween and everything else. So I just wanted to have that week and then come again, for the Southampton game, in the hope that we would, Southampton are the bottom team, 1 point this season, and there was an opportunity there that we could have come away with all 3 points. Um, and as I go and get into the game in a moment, and also the team that was selected, and decisions throughout that game, which comes up to what my opinion is of where Sean Dyche is, and should he still be manager now, or should he still be the manager until the end of the season, or when that decision is made by the Freaking Group when they do come in, hopefully in the next few weeks. I'll come to that and I'll talk more about that as we come to the end of my review of the game yesterday. So obviously, team same as previous week. Obviously, the difference that was in the team was obviously Mangala coming for Decore, uh, and Lindstrom also coming in for Jack Harrison. Obviously, Lindstrom finished the game against Fulham, so they were the only two changes that came from the previous week. Um, but it was same old, same old. McNeil obviously, got an injury last week against the previous week against Fulham, and came in, was back in. He didn't train throughout the week, but he was obviously fit enough to play yesterday. So it was same old throughout the team. So that was okay. That's the way it is. Michael Keane stayed as a centre back with Tarkovsky. My concern was I felt Braithwaite should have started the game. He's our best player. He's our best centre back. He's a value up to £70 million player, sitting on a bench, and and he is fit. I would guess he's fit because he came on near the end against Fulham, and I would guess he's been training like everybody else. So every indication to me is that he's fit enough to start the game. And I don't. That was my first baffling decision why he didn't start. Um, I felt if you're looking at the back, I thought Michael Keane has played well the last few games, and I felt that, in my opinion, Tarkovsky should have been the one to give way and put Braithwaite next to Michael Keane. That's my personal view, and that would have been a good decision. Tarkovsky needs a bit of a rest because obviously he's got injuries. and it would have been, but he continued to play with him, and obviously Tarkowski's probably told him that I can play, and he's decided to stick with like, stick with the players that he trusts. Basically, he trusts Michael Keane, he trusts Tarkowski, he trusts the team that he's picked. Ashley Young, obviously, and Mikhalenko came back, started again, and he trusts the centre back, the defensive side, and obviously Mangala coming in, which he did okay when he came on against Fulham for the period of time he did come on. So it was the right decision to bring him back in, and it was to bring him in. But as for a performance, um, I don't know. It's very very hard to understand. We obviously the first half was very very drab. Both teams were just, it was just a poor game of football, and it was just, waste of time watching, trying to, you know, create opportunities. And when we did get opportunities, it was the final pass. It was let that ball, final pass through, or any opportunity that we did try to create. It was just like really, really, really poor decision making by the players. Lindstrom was very, very poor in that first half. And if got the ball, trying to get balls into the box, I think the only asset that he has is his crossing. But he was very, very poor. I thought the second half he was little bit better, getting the balls in that sense, but nobody was getting on the end of it. Um, but I think one of the things that you see in football matches is that you can create opportunities or get yourself in opportunities, misplaced passes, uh, not finding the right man, the passing and movements not in the right position, nobody knowing what they're really, doing. In that, that is an indicator to me that there's inevitability that the opposition and Southampton, you think, oh yeah, they don't have the strikers up front. Obviously, they've not scored goals this season, and they've conceded throughout all the games that they've played. The inevitability is going to happen, and it did. And I think the second half was we brought Harrison on for Ndiaye because I think he supposedly had a knock in. He had a knock in the first half, and he came off. But he was a bit disappointed because he wanted to stay on. That's the reaction. What I've read and what I saw. Obviously, I didn't see the full game. I saw the highlights and we sort of listened to the game on the commentary. So I was listening. So that was the decision that was made, obviously, because precautionary to get him off, but he wanted to stay on. Um, Harrison came on, and just Harrison was just not being that creative player. You got an opportunity, obviously, you put through, and you just dinked the ball over the goalkeeper, and it just went wide. Mangala had a shot, which was great save by the goalkeeper. Keane had a header, which was great save by the goalkeeper. So you can probably say to yourself, well, if they went in, them opportunities went in, then different story. We would have been talking a different game. But it's just the way that this football team is at the moment, that every opportunity that we have, even a really, really good opportunity, we're just not taking them. We have Beto who came on for Calvert Lewin. I'll talk about what really confuses me about this, the decision to sub Calvert Lewin for Beto in a moment. But he came on, he had that chance where the ball came flying at him. He headed it, hit the bar, gone in, different story. They go up the field and score. And we then get obviously the VAR call for the offside, which was very minute, and it was a great finish by Beto. If that had gone in, yeah, we would have taken a point. But it was like, Beto is, it could have been like two goals in 2 games, and the clamour feeling that he should be playing more, because he's scoring goals. That's the what he's here to do, and he seems to be. He could have, if that goal was given, 2 goals in 2 games. People will be saying, well, for West Ham, I think we need to look at starting him if Sean Dyche continues to keep the formation and tactics that he always keeps. So I had to look at maybe putting Calvert-Lewin on the bench because he didn't have the greatest of games. Again, he was like plodding along. He was just like chasing shadows, chasing balls, trying to do something, but it was just not happening because the midfield were not giving him the opportunity to do so. He needs to get in the box to get the crosses in, but the balls of don't get as many crosses into the box, into the area, which you should do. But it's just the way that we play. And the vast majority of the time is just to launch it to him and to hope for any knockdowns. And this is the thing about the game: hope for the knockdowns, hope for the little opportunities here or there that can come from it. And we had opportunities in that game, but we failed. We didn't put them in the back of the net. We didn't do it. And we can't keep on using excuses because this happens week in, week out. We've seen it before where we have opportunities in games and we've either made the wrong decision. We've decided to make, I'm going to shoot when we should have passed it. We should have done this, we should have done that. In hindsight's everything, but it was just every game that is actually happening all the time. We get opportunities if from an error, from a mistake. We can't keep on going down this road of hoping that the opposition makes mistakes by just launching the ball and just hope that the knockdown goes to the right place and the right decision, and just hope that the decision that player makes the right one, and we go and score a goal. That can't happen. You've got to set these players have to be set up to in training to actually do what they're doing, is to pass and move and to know what they're going to do with the ball. And it's like they don't know. Because it's like we're bypassing a midfield. And not midfield is only there for knockdowns to anything that is an error from the opposition to do that. We don't press. We press away from home. We seem to press a bit more. We get a little bit further forward for away games. So the opportunities were there, but again, it was the final pass. It was just those decisions, it's the decision making of the players that is the issue here. And why? Why is that? What are these players? Are they good enough? Because from the indication to me, they're not good enough. But it's interesting to see when I speak about Sean Dyche in a moment, is that would another coach or another set of coaches and people be able to get the best out of these players and to see the strengths that they have? Because we all know Andai has. We know what he's capable of. We've seen it. The feeling I have is that he would be better in the number 10 role behind a Calvert-Lewin or a Beto. He needs to be centralised. And as much as McNeil in that central position as a number 10 has actually done okay in games, scored goals and given assists. He's done that this season. But the question is Ndai at this moment in time, he's one that has played in that position more than Dwight McNeil. Is it worth giving him an opportunity? Put Dwight McNeil back on the wing, put him in behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin or Beto, put him in that position. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can do in the centre, in that area where he can create more. We'll see. We don't know, but that's enough. That's a decision for the manager. And will this manager actually make that decision? Because it seems to be he just goes like for like. He picks the same team week in, week out, unless enforced by injuries. And then we saw that the chaos that ensued with injuries. He dithered and dithered for several minutes with Lindstrom and bringing Jack Harrison on, and he dithered with bringing Beto on for several minutes. 1 minute Harrison was ready to come on, and the next minute he went back, and then the next minute Beto was going to come on, and then he went back, and it was like that was the beginning of what was going to happen next. So he brought them on half an hour. He brought them on. He gave, I think Harrison came on later, but gave Beto a little bit of a longer length of time to actually get into the game, get the opportunities, get into the positions, but he wasn't given as much to actually go for. And one that hit the bar, and then one when he was 1-on-1 and got fouled as he was breaking through it, and obviously the play, I don't know if should have been sent off or not, I don't know. But he made an impact when he got the opportunity to do so, and that's the difference. He causes a bit of mayhem, a bit of chaos. Just do something different, and it seemed to be working to an extent. But I don't know. I'm rambling on now with this because it's just so confusing watching that game yesterday, listening to the commentary and how players are playing and everything else, and it was just, you know, what do we want as fans? You know, Sean Dyches, for me, that last bit where basically brings Branthwaite on again, puts him as a centre back position, and moves Michael Keane up front with Beto. And I can't understand why he's done it for a second week. Why can't you decide, let's keep Calvert-Lewin on and put Beto next to him, go 4-4-2 that way? Why did he have to go, let's get Branthwaite on, let's get Michael Keane up there? Yes, you can strike a football, yeah, and sometimes, yes, in that position, he showed it against it, yes, he scored a goal. And when he went up front against Fulham, yes, he went up front and caused a bit of chaos with Beto, but Beto had that support of somebody next to him. Didn't matter. And he tried it again. But there's an opportunity there where you've got an actual striker who you've just taken off. And instead of just say like for like and brought Beto on. And then when things have started panic stations start kicking in when they scored, and you panic, oh, we better do something about this. I'll tell you what, we'll just get Branthwaite on. You can do the, stay where he is. Get Michael Keane up front. We'll see if it works again. That because it kind of worked the other week. We'll see if that does it. It didn't, and I don't know why. He should have just gone 4-4-2 straight away. Pulled off, say, and Dioki was going to come off, and then just changed it, put McNeil back into onto the wing, and just stick, Calvert-Lewin and Beto up two together, and just see if it works. You got two strikers. They are not one striker and a central defender. And as much as he's shown that he's capable of scoring goals up, for Everton, he's a central defender at the end of the day, and he's not a striker. And I don't know why he decided that threw it for me. And doing that again, and just decision making, game management again. People can say, well, it was taken off for precaution because he got clattered in the first, in the first half, and really it's a precaution to bring him off, rightly or wrongly. He didn't want to come off by the sounds of it. He wanted to stay on the pitch, and I just can't understand this. It's confusing. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of that performance yesterday? Because it's same old, same old. And if it's just setting up a team just basically to take a point, even against Southampton, and just hope we nick a win here, or we hope we get a breakaways, and we hope we get the opportunities. Yes, we created opportunities yesterday, but they didn't go in. The decision making wasn't there. The luck wasn't there. Nothing. That's what it's all about. And his setup is just to want to take points. And if you watch the vast majority of that game, it was drab. It was a terrible exhibition. It was a terrible game of football for two teams, not just Everton, Southampton. And it was just a poor football game. And you can just see it. It felt like watching two championship sides going at it. And that's what it felt like. But the biggest thing is like the final passes and everything else that I mentioned, for opportunities that we did have on breaks. And, it's like, what do they pass the ball to each other? You see it before a warm up. They're passing the ball around really well. They do show it in training. They pass the ball really well. But when it comes to gameplay, it's like they don't even know how to pass to each other. And when they do pass to each other, they go forward and then they go back. And then it goes back. Pickford launches it, or Tarkowski or Keane launch it. Hope you get knocked down by Calvert-Lewin. Your midfield then goes forward, and you hope that they get a little bit, and then you just try to create any kind of opportunity for any kind of drop downs. But if you've got one attacker against two central defenders, and we saw this against Fulham because Calvert-Lewin was just not getting any kind of opportunities or knock-ons. He was trying his hardest, but the two defenders just was having it like a field day. It was like a training ground game because all you need to do is the ball launch, head it forward. And it was just a hope that the midfield would pick up, but the midfield were not picking up any scraps when any opportunity. And the inevitability is that we allowed, again, a team, Southampton being the example here, 65% of possession. And it's not, Sean Dyche after the game said it's all about possession stats. It's not always about that. It's about going, it's about the win, scoring the goals. It's about, launching the ball. It's about different tactics. It's not always about passing the ball around a lot. But they passed the second half specifically. They passed the ball and got forward quite quickly from 2-3 passes, and they were going forward quite quickly, and they were getting opportunities. But we continue to do the same old, and it's like a mantra that you thought, well, this is the team that I'm having, this is the setup I'm having, this is the way we play that we do away from home, and I'm sticking to that. I don't react and don't try something different. He only reacts way late when we're losing. He reacts then. He doesn't react when it's 0-0 because it's 0-0. He reacts if we're drawing. Oh, we'll keep it as it is. We won't change anything. But he will react when we're losing the game and we need to we need to win. We need to get a point. We need to get something out of this game. That's not how it's set up. And he can come up with all the excuses in the world, and he can everything, for why he plays this way or why he set up this way. And because it's the bare minimum, basically, of how we're set up. It's a bare minimum. Just get points. Just get a point. Don't care. Don't care how you play. Just get a point. And when people say about the players, can he do better under a different coach, under a different management, who play a different way and get the best out of them? Because Ndai is an example here. He's a great player, and we've seen how good a player he is. What do you think you put him in a team that in a different coach, with different ideas, wants to play, to get forward, to pass the ball around, to get forward and create more opportunities, more possession. What I want is a balance. I don't mind launching the ball to Calvert-Lewin. I don't mind if it works and it drops down and you've got a midfield there that can, get the ball when you need to do it. But also I want our midfield, our defence, but our midfield to be better on the football, be able to attack the ball, get forward a bit more, do something different with it. It has to be a balance. When I think about, you talk about the Moyes era, I can talk about the Kendall era back in the 80s. I know I'm going back in time here, but if you look at that team back then, it was an example of because the way the game was back then is you did launch the ball up to the striker. That's how it was. But it was a 4-4-2 formation. It was set up that way. But you got a bit of both. You had players who could pass the ball to each other, and to be able to get forward by doing that and playing that way, but also able to mix it up and actually get the ball forward quickly. And you as a midfield, not just back there to be defensive, you're being there to actually, get forward and to help your striker out and to create the opportunities for your striker. Your striker could do two things. One, just be a great header of the ball and get the balls in the box and get the opportunities and scoring from that way, but also getting balls through and in between and creating in another way, like a lot of teams do in the Premier League. And that's the way I want to see my team. I want to see my team with a balance like that. But at the moment, it's just like bypass the midfield, get knocked down, try and get knocked down from Calvert-Lewin, who does his job, gets the ball down, and then passes it to the midfield, and then their job is to get forward. But a lot of time at the moment, because the way the setup is that the ball goes forward, it bounces down, and the midfield is way, way, way back. They're not even further forward up the field. You see it. We see it a little bit more in away games. Ipswich was an example. Southampton, with the opportunities that we did create yesterday, is an example that we do get a little bit further forward. But a lot of the time we were backing off. I just don't know. And I don't know what he's doing, what his formation, what his tactics are, what he's trying to achieve with the week in, week out If it's just the bare minimum of what just to take points wherever you can with every game that you play and set up in that way, then in a lot of ways it's not working. And it comes to a point that in my mind, Sean Dyche, sooner rather than later he needs to leave the football club. I know his contract is out in the summer. I've seen people on social media feel, oh, we have to wait until the summer when he's gone. Hopefully, we'll be fine. We'll be okay. But we've got West Ham next week, and we're playing away. It's going to be a tough game. As much as they're not doing great, but at West Ham, at their ground, it's going to be a tough game. Tough ask, really, to get something out of it. And then we've got Wolves. I think Wolves at home. They picked up a point yesterday, and we then go into December when it's going to be a very, very difficult month because we've got the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester United, Man City, and Chelsea throughout that December period, and it's just like we need to get some points on the board, and I don't know when we're going to get any from December. And I hope by then that the freaking group have come in and they've taken over and they can make the decision on the manager, because if we lose next week and if we continue to not perform, pressure will be mounting, and they are mounting right now. But my feeling is, and I've said this all along, is that it's time for the manager to leave. It's time to go, but who can make that decision? And that's the question. As much as I would feel that it's time for him to move on. And we can all talk about last season and say, well, he did well last season. He did great. That was last season. This season, yes, we started poorly again like we did last season. But the difference is, it's just like I can't see us winning again. I can't see it. I can't see unless he changes it, unless he's willing with the players again, like he did against Chelsea when we got that drubbing. He needs to change things. He needs to change it, and something has to give here. But if he continues like for like, continues doing the same thing, same old, that just shows he can't. He hasn't got a plan B. He hasn't got a plan B, and what we saw last night is a manager that panicked, and we went one down against Southampton. We panicked. What he decided to do was to throw Keane up front, bring Brantwaite on. When in any other way, if he wasn't panicking, he could have decided, well, what I'll do is, because it's 0-0, what I could have done is I'll bring Beto on, I'll keep Calvert-Lewin on, I'll change it. And he's not, he's a bit of a knock, let's bring him off. Let's go 4-4-2, put McNeil back in on the wing. Let's go with that. Let's see what we can do with two up front. If it didn't work, oh, so be it. But at least he tried it. At least it's like a plan B. Let's try it. See if it works. I know he's tried it before and it's not worked. But in situations like we played that system and it's not working, but his persistence with sticking with it and saying, I'll stick with that. But then soon as we go one down and we've got a short period of time to get a goal or get an equaliser, he goes, right, let's get the changes, get Bradway on. Michael, go up. You go up with Beto. But if you think about the goal that was ruled out, it was Tarkovsky launched it, a ball to Beto, controlled it wonderfully and scored a goal. Obviously, marginally offside. There you go. But that was just that was just hitting the ball to, like we have been doing, just keeping hitting the ball forward. And that opportunity came for him, and it would have been a fantastic goal if it stood and was allowed. But what do I know? But he went with the Keane, and he went with in better up front. He just went with. I can't understand decision. He's a defender. Yes, he can strike a ball. Yes, he can score a goal. Yes, he can do that. Yes, we all know that. But do it once against Fulham. Okay, you did it. Right, fine. Okay, you did it. You went for it. But you did it again. That's a sign of a manager that just panicking and just doesn't know what else to do. Let's just throw this. Let's see what happens. See if it does the same thing it did last week. And okay, it nearly did work in a sense for the the goal that we equalised, which was obviously chalked out. But as I just said, it was a Tarkovsky just hit the ball forward to Beto, who got himself into a position and scored. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But I just think when managers are making those type of decisions, the writing's on the wall, and it's been on the wall for a while. And I can understand people saying, well, it's the first defeat in 5 games, 6 games. It's the first defeat in 6 games. We've been unbeaten for 5. We're picking up points. We're doing that. That's the bare minimum. But the performances, even that period of time, have not been great. And we've always seen flashes of doing well in games here or there. And that's, we had a 15-minute spell against Palace at home in the second half where we got 2 goals and then we were able to ride out and got the win. The Ipswich game, we're playing Ipswich obviously, and we got that goal by Ndiaye straight quite early on, and I think from then on in, it was just a good performance in a sense. It was an okay performance, but the second half we obviously got the second goal by Keane, but then the second half we just like backed off again. We just became a very defensive team and just went from we'll just sit on this until we for the 2-0 win, and we came through that one. But they were but as the game went on in that game, they were getting more and more of the possession. They were getting more and more chances going forward. Could have been on a different day, then the opportunities that they might have had, they might have created and scored in. It could have been a different story. So what do I know? Anyway, my my feeling is that it's time for the manager to, if the opportunity is there, I don't know. Yeah, can Freakins actually speak to the director of football or the CEO, the current who's in the interim, and say, pull the trigger. We're close to completion here. I think we need to start looking at another manager to come in and take this club forward, because it's one of the things that's coming into my head is if you make the decision now, we've got a situation where we've got West Ham next week, and then we've got an international break, so we've got time to bring, if there's anybody else to come in, an opportunity to come in. But also, we then got a situation if we bring in a coach that's going to be here for a long-term scenario, if that's the decision of the new owners when they do come in, that when they come in, when that person comes in, we'll have the second part of the season him to bed in with the players and everything else, and then we can start looking at the summer. Because if we keep Dyche and we continue in this direction and we continue to make performances like this, then you know we might be even worse off. If we lose this to West Ham next week, and then we can continue on a vein where we can't pick up results, and then we go into December and can't pick up results against the top 6 teams that we're playing, the questions are going to be asked. Because if we're going to be right down the bottom end, as much as people think we're not in the relegation scrap yet, we're not in relegation, we're near it because we're dropping points. So, that's the question. If you get it, if we get it sorted early and get the right people in early and do the right thing, that person's got the time to work with the team, work with the players, and finally start getting the team going in the right direction, because there are players in that team that are good enough. I think that we'll be fine going into the second part of the season, and I think we'll get into Bramley Moore, but we'll have that person in, and we'll have the right, hopefully the right setup, the right people in to start moving the club, moving the team forward, and getting us forward. And if it means in January, also with players coming in, if we are bringing players in January, if we're allowed to do so, and if we have any money to do so with the new owners, and to start building, you know, strengthening the team as well, then even better. So, what do you guys think? What do you know? I just think it's time, and I think it's been a while. People know, even if you're defending him to an extent, that he'll be gone at some point. It's just when. It's not if, but when that day will arrive. It seems to be. It doesn't show any kind of care or any kind of attention. It just seems to. I set up my way. I'm going to stick my way. I'm going to do my thing, and it's just not working. And the football is drab. It's disgraceful. It's terrible. And I want to watch my team actually at least play well in some games. Play well, put a performance in, show me that you're good enough to play for that shirt, play good enough to actually want to win football matches, want to win football matches, players to want to win football matches, and I'm guessing those players want to win football matches. But the manager is the one that is more wants to actually draw football matches and to actually just take points where possible. And I think that's where we're starting to see a split, where the team starting to not taking on board what the manager is asking them to do, and just going out there and just and you get performances like that because nobody knows what to do. They're programmed to actually just we'll just sit back and just defend this. When in their minds they want to get forward, they want to score goals, they want to win football matches, they want to do that. That's what their footballers want to do. The whole purpose is when you're a footballer and being a footballer is to want to win football matches. If you have a manager is setting up teams to want to draw matches and to be defensive and to go out to just take a draw if possible and to set up in a defensive sense away and at home and just hope that we can get knocked down for some sort of opportunity to get a goal here or there. But to set up, the mindset is a mind game. The mindset is telling you, no, we don't. The mind is, we have to stick back. And as much as you want to get forward and as much as you want to get and do that job, your manager's telling you, no, stay where you are. You do what your job is, but you what your role is. And this is where mistakes are happening because players' instinct is that they want to get forward and they want to score goals. So they get themselves out of position. They get forward a bit too quickly. They get themselves and when they do get forward and get an opportunity to get forward, the final pass is not right because the other player is getting back into position because they're told to stay in positions. They're not being taught in training, not being shown in training to get forward. They've been told to stay in the positions that they've been given. When you get the ball, pass it out, do what you've been doing in training, and then get back into position. And that's what they're doing. Players instantly want to get forward, do what they want to do, what they're good at, and what they think they're good at. But as soon as they've done they've moved this position, they get back into position. And then something breaks down, and that player who was over here may have been able to get an opportunity with the ball, is back over there, back in their positions, back in set up again, back set up, back set up. We just stay where we are. That's all we do. And there's no fluidity about it. There's nothing about it. Sorry, I don't know what you guys think. It's just desperate, despicable, disastrous at the moment. And I'm fed up with watching it. I pay my money as a season ticket holder to watch my football team. And I can understand one game here or one game there where we play terribly and lose and we're really bad. But week in, week out, no, that's not right. It's not the right thing. For the fans who go down to like Southampton or go down to Ipswich or, we want a bit of joy on a Saturday evening or a Saturday when you go and watch your team play. You want to see them play well. You want to see them put a shift in, put a fight in. You want to see them do well. Not like this. And I just leave it on this front that it's time that the manager and its coaching staff. It has to be made. And if you defend it and allow him to week in week out to keep on managing the football club and keep on performing and playing like that, inevitability is going to happen, and we're going to be having that conversation again. It's going to be like a roll full circle. Why Sean Dyche came to the club in the first place, because of where we were in the table, and it's going to happen again. And we all had this little confidence in our mind, thinking that the three teams below us, oh yeah, they're probably going to end up going back down. All it takes, Ipswich drew, they could have won, but they drew in the end. But all it takes is like Southampton beating us. They get a bit of confidence. They might start playing better. That's how it is. And we've got a tough period of the next few weeks. Next couple of months is going to be tough. And we can't keep on playing like that just so we can get a point and just hope that we can get a point and just hope that we can get 3 points here. Just hope and hope and hope and hope. That can't be the case. We can't. I'm not confident watching that team. Yesterday was weird because I listened to it on the radio, but in my head I was like thinking we should beat Southampton. They're not doing well. We're unbeaten at the moment. If you want to be we're being optimistic, I want to be optimistic. And okay, we come away with a point against Fulham when we deserve not to really win that game, but we got a point. It's a point. So we're still unbeaten. I was being optimistic, but why in my mind was I thinking we're not going to win this game? And I listened to it, and I saw the chances that we had, and the gilt edge opportunities, the pass, the final balls, and everything about that game. And as I was listening to it, I was in my head thinking, I know where this is going, and it did. And when you want a bit of luck, it's not there. The luck's out. But what I also found from the players is that no desire, no fight again. It was just the first half specifically. It was like watching paint dry, and it was just why? Where's the fight there? Why are you not driving forward? Who's the captain? Tarkowski. Why is he not getting the team motivated on the pitch? Players who are supposedly senior players like Ashley Young. Why are they not driving, pushing the players? Let's get forward. Do the natural thing. Let's go get forward. But when you've got a manager that's saying, stay there, stick to what you do, stick to your role that I'm telling you need to do, then that instinct, as I say, of wanting to get forward, the drive to get forward, is not there. I could go on and on and on. But my thoughts is it, when do you pull the trigger? Can we pull the trigger with the managers now, before the free kicks come in? Is it like, can we do it? Somebody said we haven't got the money. We have got the money when the free kicks come in. So, they're a few weeks away. They can call Kevin Felwell. They can call the CEO. They even can call Mashiri and just say, right, we're close to approval. We feel in our minds that you need to make the decision on the manager because what we're seeing is not very good. We want to go in a different direction. We need to make that decision now, and they need to do it, and they'll see it. Well, a lot of the fans see it, and even the fans that depending feel that circumstances that he's in, that it's going to happen sooner rather than later. But it needs to happen. Let me know. Let me know in the comments below what you think on the manager. Is it now? Is it the time to go, or is it? Is he going to get to the end of the season? If he continues playing like that, I don't think he's going to get to the end of the season personally. But yeah, that's my view. That's my opinion. It's disappointing. All I can do is hope that next week when we play West Ham, that we can get a result, get a point, get something out of that game. Because that's how I feel at the moment. I just don't know if we'll get anything out of that game neither. And that's just how I feel. Anyway, um, the only final thing is a question I want to ask everybody before I go. In his press conference, he's asked several times now regarding the Freedom Group. He said, have they talked to him yet? He says he's not been talked to. He's not been talked. He's not talked to them. That's interesting. Where you think that we're close to completion in a few weeks, that they've not talked to the manager. Have they talked to Kevin Fairwell? But have they talked to the manager? And it looks like he hasn't talked to him yet, which is a bit strange. Because I would have thought that they would have been talking to him just about how the team's doing and what's happening. With Kevin Fairwell. About the club and how going forward and everything else and what his ideas are going forward. Interesting that they haven't. So let me know what you think. Why Beacons have not talked to him yet. That's ominous in my mind. I just think there's a reason why. And maybe that reason is that he's not going to be the manager of the football club after this season, if it's now or then. So it's interesting. So let me know what you think in the comments. Anyway, that's me gone for today. I wanted to be more optimistic. I didn't swear. Did I rant a little bit? I don't know. I didn't swear as much as I wanted to. I could have maybe have had a few hours sleep and just helped me just to compose myself. So anyway, thank you again for listening to the podcast. I do appreciate all the support and from listening to it, forwarding it, and putting it out there to everybody else. I'll be back next week, hopefully in a positive frame of mind. We'll have to wait and see. So this is the Rambling Toffee signing out. Have a great day, and I'll speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.